Michael Scott, Scotty Man Photo. I thought I'd share a little video with you today. I was taking a Nikon FE. Just purchased this off eBay. I actually had this camera when I was a teenager and absolutely loved it. And I've been looking for one for a while now. And I found one, decent price. So anyway, as I had suspected, I mean, it's in pretty good shape. But as I had suspected, the light seals in the camera are certainly deteriorated. So I'm planning to basically replace the light seals here and here, and the one on the door here. And really, pretty much after that, I think I'll be done. There's also a light seal here, just above the mirror. I don't know if you could see that. But anyway, it looks to be in pretty good shape. I mean, honestly, it looks original, but it's kind of hard to believe. There's a little dust on the mirror. I'll probably clean that up, clean the camera body up, but overall, cosmetically, I mean, this thing looks pretty spectacular. So, well, anyway, I'll get to it. Also, I have a 50mm lens that I bought with at 1.8, and I've already cleaned it up. It looks pretty sharp. So. Yeah, I plan to shoot this a little bit, just a little kind of a nostalgic moment here with film, I guess. So anyway, I'll get to it. Well, anyway, so I thought I'd show you my materials that I'm going to be using to do this job with. So basically, to clean out the seal, or what's left of the seal and the glue, I'll be using a couple of these. Thought I'd go with plastic so I don't scar the camera instead of using something metal. But I also have Q-tips and alcohol to kind of loosen up the glue, and so I can get the camera clean. And I'll be using a kit that I bought from eBay for the light seal. So it actually has the light seal, the light seal for around the camera, for the door seal, and the gasket here for when the door closes. And there's also another seal inside, which is for the seal for the mirror. So when the mirror closes, it closes off the light box. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to need that one. As I mentioned earlier, it looks pretty good. So actually, this camera looks to be in really good shape. So a couple other items: dust brush, an assortment of tweezers to really get the job done, and little alcohol pads for cleaning the exterior of the camera. I'm also going to use I'm going to cover up the shutter so that I don't get any dirt, debris, or anything sticky on the shutter, which could be very bad. But I'll be using tape to cover that. But with the tape, I'm going to use paper underneath the tape so the actual paper covers the entire area of the shutter. So no tape actually sticks to the shutter, and I don't have to worry about pulling tape off the shutter. I think that's it. So anyway, I'm going to get to it and get this camera cleaned up. I don't think you need to get all the glue off, but certainly most of it. I definitely want the foam to lay flat on the camera. So just kind of repeat this until I get it there. Yeah, this little dental picker here works very well, a little scribe, as opposed to this. This worked for most everything, except this wasn't quite thin enough to get down in the groove. So, but this does work pretty good for kind of scouring the track here. So, almost got this thing cleaned up. Really, this side came out very well, nice and clean, and the door is very clean too. So yeah, I think I'm ready to apply the adhesive strips here, the foam. I'm gonna got this side here left to clean out. I want to be particularly careful of the viewfinder right here. Just make sure I don't get any debris around there. And I've got the shutter really sealed up pretty well to keep any debris out. With this paper kind of over the shutter, you know, nothing will stick to the shutter, so that's working out really well. Yeah, it looks like that fits pretty good. All right, let's see. Yeah, it looks like it closes up quite well. I was kind of looking at the seal for the mirror, and it just, as soon as I touched it, and it just crumbled, so I'm going to go ahead and replace that too. Pretty straightforward on this one, I think. The old one came off pretty easy, and I just used the kind of the X-Acto knife, and I just removed the focusing screen, and then took the X-Acto knife, just kind of smoothly cut off what was left of the old seal, and then cleaned it up with alcohol, and then just put this one on. I don't know how much of that you could catch. I'm going to put this on a long exposure and just check the mirror. Yeah, it looks pretty good. You put that on about 8 seconds. All right, I got the seals out, camera's cleaned up, and everything looks pretty good. So now I'm going to use a light seal kit. I actually bought a couple of these kits off eBay, and I forgot to mention that this is Purell that they send with the kit. They also send some nice instructions with it, and this is the one I'm going to use because one of the seals is kind of offset a little bit to kind of match the contour of the camera right there, which is yeah, probably ideal. I think the best way to do this is with some kind of agent that actually interacts with the glue and prevents it from sticking on the strips, and that way you can actually get it into the groove of the camera without it sticking to the sides and everything else. And it basically gives you time to get everything seated in the little tracks and channels. The other seals, the seal on the door is complete. It was very easy to put on. Actually, the seal around the mirror, the bumper, if you will, is pretty easy to put on. I think take out your focusing prism, or excuse me, take out your focusing screen makes it a lot easier. But in these in the door channels here, that's a little bit difficult. So I think the best thing to do here is to use Purell. You can use water, you can use Purell. The reason that I think the Purell is going to work better is because it takes longer to dry. So by the time you get your seal on, hopefully if this goes according to plan, I'll get it in the channel, get it seated and in position before the Purell dries. You can use alcohol, but it dries quickly too, so very quickly. I looked at a couple different kits on eBay and other sources, and the reason I like this Hugo Studio light seal kit is because it has every seal that you need to do the job. I think the nice thing about the kit is all the seals being pre-cut and fit perfect into the camera body slots, which makes it a lot easier, and it comes with everything that you need for every seal. This particular seal here was kind of cut in a Z pattern, as you can see, and I think cutting your own would have been difficult, but this one was pretty easy to put in. I think the right thing to do is just lay everything out, make sure that you put everything in every slot and you know where every piece goes and get it ready. Don't try to apply the Purell yet. You only get so much time before this thing dries. So put the Purell on, put it in position. You can move it around and fit it in. You've got plenty of time before that Purell dries. Well, there's really two ways to do this. You can apply the Purell to the camera body, or you can apply it to the strips before you put them in. But I found the best way to do it is to apply it to the camera body and the strips. This way you don't take a chance on one of the strips getting stuck on the side, and kind of, because that's what happens. The adhesive gets stuck on the side of the camera. So the trick is put it on both. And I also found that, you know, when you peel off the backing here, this thing is very sticky, so you're going to be tricky with this. Maybe put a little Purell on your fingertips first so that you can, you know, actually let go of the strip once you get the Purell on there. So I think the good thing about the Purell versus the water or the alcohol is that you have more time. So you actually have more time than you think. So I wouldn't rush it. I would kind of take my time and put the Purell on both sides, and then just fit it into the camera body. And I would start at the ends first. And I found it quite easy to just take my finger and just kind of work it in as I went. But I did try this without or just with Purell on one side, and it just doesn't work as nicely as doing it on both sides. Then I found this plastic tool to be just invaluable here, and once I got everything into position, I could just really get everything seated inside the camera body, and just made it so much easier. And just really, once enough time goes by and this thing sets up, it's perfect. Well, there's certainly a lot to be said about having the right tools for the job. You definitely want to have that. So I think these plastic tools here were just invaluable for getting the camera cleaned up and applying the light seals. X-Acto knife, couldn't have done it without that either. And this little board that you see underneath is a self-healing mat. And if you're going to cut your own strips, I think that would be something that you really would want to invest in. But it's also great just as a general workstation too. The Purell is super nice. Makes this job so much easier. I wouldn't want to try this without the Purell. You could try alcohol and other things, but I just don't think you're going to have the same luck. Well, the reason I like this Hugo Studio kit is because it comes with two kits. So if you mess up one, you've got another one to fall back on. Well, I don't have any affiliate links or any collaboration going on with anybody at eBay or anywhere else. The reason I chose this Hugo Studio kit was because it just was the easiest one and it had everything included. Truly, I've never done one of these light seal kits before, but I could tell you it wasn't that bad, and I would recommend giving it a shot. Well, I hope this helped. If you have an older film camera, I think the light seals are probably going to require replacement. Most of these older cameras, I think their seals are probably, kind of dry rotted like these were. One of them, the mirror box actually looked pretty good. The mirror bumper looked pretty good on here until I touched it. The moment I touched it, it just crumbled. So, it's better to kind of solve these things now rather than wait till you're out shooting and then the mirror crumbles and it gets all over your camera and maybe even down inside where the shutter is, and you certainly don't want that. You don't want it on your film. So anyway, yeah, not ideal. Best to kind of look at it first. So if you buy one of these older cameras, just make sure you check the light seals. And truly, I think almost anybody could do this, unless you just have really shaky hands or something. It might be a little problem for you. But I would say definitely don't be scared. Grab a seal kit and do it. You can also cut your own foam if you want to use a piece of foam and just kind of cut your own sections. And I think that it would probably be just as good. Even the yarn technique is also pretty good. So I looked at all of these. Like I say, I hadn't done this before, but the yarn probably would have been the easiest. But I thought the seal kit for me at least was the better. I liked the pre-cut pieces, and using the Purell, they went right in without any trouble. So we'll see though later when we get the camera. I'm sure once that dries, it's going to be just fine. So the adhesive, it doesn't seem to affect the adhesive from other testing that I did before I did this, because I got to test everything. So I think it'll be just fine. So but anyway, yeah. So hey, I'm going to go ahead and end the video, but if you like the video, make sure you hit the like button and consider subscribing. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And as always, if I don't see you down the road, maybe I'll see you on the trail.